What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Esri Roser here. So Nick Sirianni did confirm it today. Gardner Minshew will start against the Dallas Cowboys this Saturday on Christmas Eve. And I know it's disappointing because we were all looking forward to seeing Jalen Hurts beat the Cowboys twice. But when you put aside emotion and you really stop to think about this is the correct move by Nick Sirianni and the coaching staff. This is not a do or die scenario for the Philadelphia Eagles. The significance of this Eagles-Cowboys game on Christmas Eve was greatly diminished on Sunday, and that's because the Dallas Cowboys lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Dallas Cowboys, despite leading 27-10, choked to Doug Peterson and the Jaguars in Jacksonville. And that loss gave the Eagles a ton of wiggle room. That loss gave the Eagles a ton of margin for error. We just need one more win over these last three games to clinch the number one seed. Just one more win across these last three games. Now, does it make sense to send Jalen Hurts out there and risk re-aggravating his injury for a game that isn't even a must-win game? Like, does it really make sense to chug Jalen Hurts out there and risk him getting hurt even worse when this isn't even a do or die scenario for Philadelphia? You don't have to choose which game to win. You can win any one. Literally any one of those games you win, and we clinch the number one seed. If Minnesota wins out and they finish 14-3, we win the tiebreaker at 14-3 because we beat them in week 2. If San Francisco wins out, they'll finish 13-4. That would be one game behind the Eagles at 14-3. This is not a big game for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's more so a big game for the Dallas Cowboys. They need to get back on track after blowing that huge lead against the Jaguars. And by the way, I thought that was very funny and wholesome how the Philadelphia employees sent those 35 cheesesteaks to Doug Peterson and the Jaguars. Doug Peterson really is a great guy. Such a Philadelphia legend. And then he helps us out by beating the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys, they really let us off the hook. Could you imagine if the Cowboys had won that game against the Jaguars and they'd be sitting at 11-3, 2 games behind the Eagles at 13-1. And in light of this Jalen Hurts injury, they'd have a very reasonable shot at overtaking the Eagles in these last 3 games because of the injury to Jalen Hurts. But because they didn't take care of their business in Jacksonville, they gave us all this wiggle room to work with. Just one more win, and we are the number one seed, ladies and gentlemen. Even if we lose to the Cowboys, which I do not think is going to happen, all we need is one more win because the Cowboys, they did their typical December routine, and they... I'm choking. Like, they blew it. They really did. They had a huge opening with this Jalen Hurts injury, and they blew it. They blew it in Jacksonville to Doug Peterson, our former coach. How fitting.